Before the stars knew your name, I did. Heaven is not silent, not today. The hour has come where the veil thins and your spirit, though weary, begins to tremble, sensing the movement of something unseen yet deeply real. I have watched your steps, counted your sighs, and gathered your tears into eternal jars of remembrance. And now, in the hush of this moment, I speak again, not with wrath, but with a holy thunder. There are 45 minutes left in the spiritual realm, and no, this is not a metaphor, it is a divine window. A golden crack in the heavens where eternity bends toward you. And through that window, I have sent one of my most powerful messengers, Archangel Michael. Not with a sword to punish, but with scrolls of mercy and truth. He is here now, pacing the edge of your atmosphere, declaring your name into the winds that stretch between dimensions. He cries out, not in anger, but in urgency. A miracle, vast and blazing with promise, has been formed in the fires of intercession. It hovers now so close that the angels have gone still. But something is blocking it. Yes, something small, something familiar. A whisper you've believed, a hesitation you've entertained, a door you've left open. And Michael pleads, stop, not now, not when heaven has worked for this moment, not when the wind of change is already blowing at your feet. Do not walk away now. Because, beloved, you have that power. You are not a puppet. I gave you will. And even now in my infinite grace, I will not violate it. But if you do not choose wisely, if you turn toward the lesser thing, there will be a delay, and it will cost you dearly. You do not see what Michael sees. You do not hear the lies slithering behind the curtain. But I see it all, and I am calling to you with clarity. This is not just a message, this is a rescue. Let this settle within you. You've felt this before, haven't you? That stirring in your chest, that restless ache deep in your bones. It is not anxiety. It is not confusion. It is recognition. Your spirit remembers what your mind cannot yet explain. This moment was foretold long before you arrived here. Heaven has been orchestrating this encounter, nudging you, aligning the signs, whispering through dreams and silences, so that when the divine moment opened, you would not miss it. And now you are here, and I am still speaking. Archangel Michael surrounds you. He does not come to impress you with visions or promises. He comes to remind you. You are dangerously close to forfeiting a miracle because of one small compromise. You've been tired for no reason. You've noticed strange behaviors from those close to you. You've felt an invisible heaviness, like a weight pressing on your chest, when no one else seemed to notice. This is not random. This is spiritual warfare. The enemy does not strike with thunder. He strikes with silence. He delays with logic. He distracts with glitter. And right now, something that looks harmless is drawing your attention away from me. A person, a thought, a false comfort. You are tempted to walk away from something I told you to wait for. You are tempted to stay silent when I've called you to speak. You are tempted to return to what broke you simply because it feels familiar. But I did not bring you this far for you to return to your chains. Child of light, the countdown is real. And your name, it burns in golden script across the scrolls of heaven. The time of indecision is ending. And I, your God, will not compete with the noise of your doubt. So hear me now. The miracle is moving, but it will not wait forever. You may not understand now, but you will. There's something sacred in your silence. In the stillness between your thoughts, in the hush that falls just before sleep, in the quiet ache you cannot name, I have been speaking to you. Not every revelation comes with thunder. Some arrive like dew. And yet, what I am about to unveil requires not your intellect, but your surrender. Archangel Michael is standing at the edge of your atmosphere with urgency in his eyes. He has seen what you do not. He has heard what was spoken in secret. He has walked through the shadows on your behalf and returned carrying truth wrapped in mercy. He says, "Tell them, the miracle is already in motion, but they are entertaining delay with their indecision." Yes, I have heard your broken prayers. I remember the night your soul fell to its knees and whispered, "God, if you're real, I need you now." That prayer split the sky. It moved Michael into action. It summoned a ripple through eternity, and the miracle began. But now, on the very edge of breakthrough, your gaze is drifting. You are second-guessing what I already confirmed. You are questioning the value of your own voice, the truth of your own calling, the worth of your own soul. And this, beloved, is the real danger. Not that I would forsake you, but that you would forsake yourself. I am not asking you to fight harder. I am not demanding more effort. I am simply asking you to believe again, to remember the promise, to release the weight of logic and walk forward in faith. This hour is not ordinary. It is holy. I will speak again. Not everything can be explained, but it can be felt. And you felt it, haven't you? That invisible pressure on your chest, that sudden unease around someone you once trusted, that flicker of awareness in your gut when no words were spoken, but truth was screaming through the silence. This is discernment. This is your spirit remembering what your mind tries to forget. You are in a war you cannot see, but I see it, and I am intervening. Archangel Michael has been dispatched on your behalf, not to fight an enemy with swords and flames, but to clear a path that's been cluttered by distraction, deception, and delay. He walks ahead of you now, sweeping lies off the path, cutting cords you were never meant to carry. He says, they are entertaining something that looks harmless but is spiritually dangerous, a decision that seems small, but will echo through their timeline for years if they're not careful. You've been tempted lately, tempted to return to what once made you feel safe, tempted to accept the apology that came with no true repentance, tempted to answer the call you already blocked in your heart. But I need you to hear me. That comfort is counterfeit. That door leads backward, not forward. That connection, that mindset, that hidden bitterness, it will cost you more than you think. You cannot carry Egypt into the promised land. You cannot cling to fear and walk in faith. You cannot ask for overflow while drinking poison from the past. This is your invitation. Release. Let go. Step forward. And don't worry if you tremble. The miracle is not looking for perfection, only your full yes. This seed will bloom in time. You asked. I am answering now. Not with thunder, not with earthquakes, but with the kind of voice that wraps around your soul and won't let go. You cried out, "God, give me a sign!" And I did. In whispers, in pauses, in dreams you dismissed. I moved through patterns, through numbers, through perfectly timed words from strangers, and now I speak again, not in mystery, but with unmistakable clarity. The clocks of heaven are counting down. You have not missed it, but you are dangerously close to detouring what I've already released. Yes, it is already released. The document has been approved. The door is unlocked. The heart has softened. The opportunity is standing at the gate. But if you go back now, if you entertain that voice again, the one that questions your worth, the one that mocks your intuition, the one that tells you it's not that serious, then the flow of what's coming will be slowed by your own hesitation. Michael is pleading because he has seen your file in heaven's court. He has read the prayers of your ancestors, heard your groanings too deep for words, and watched as the enemy formed weapons in secret. But I broke those weapons. I reversed the curse. And now all that remains is for you to stay the course. I am not asking you to earn the miracle. I'm asking you to stay in position to receive it. Let go of the lie that says nothing ever changes, because everything is changing, even now. Say yes. Say it fully. Say it out loud if you must. And when you do, the angels will move again. You are held. You are heard. Do you feel the stillness stretching inside you? That is an emptiness. That's the space I've been carving out, making room for something holy. You keep asking why the silence has lasted so long, why the delay, why the loneliness. But what if I told you the pause is not punishment, it's preparation. What's coming requires more space than your past ever offered. It requires uncluttered faith, a spirit untangled from the noise of opinions and the shadows of past wounds. And so I have been pruning. I have been separating. I have been whispering in the quiet. Let it go, so I can give you more. Archangel Michael is no longer standing still. He is moving swiftly now, making final adjustments in your atmosphere. The name you carry has been brought up in sacred rooms. The blessing you ask for is already looking for where to land. But I tell you plainly, it cannot land on confusion. If your hands are still full of what drains you, if your heart still clings to what I've asked you to release, the miracle will wait. Not because I withhold it, but because I protect what is holy. You are not being punished. You are being positioned. And sometimes that means being pulled away from the crowd, being hidden in the cleft of the rock until the noise fades and your hearing sharpens. This next season is not casual. It is sacred. And your sensitivity to me is your survival. So I ask you now, will you trust the stillness? Will you let peace lead even when answers hide? Rest now, beloved. You were never alone, even when it felt like it. Even in the midnight ache when no one called. Even in the room full of people where you still felt unseen. Even in the silence after you poured your heart out and received no reply. I was there. I have been there from the beginning, before the heartbreak, before the loss, before the disappointment that almost made you give up on hope itself. I carried you when your legs failed. I shielded you from traps you never saw. and I wept with you in moments you thought I was distant. But I was not distant. I was defending. And now, beloved soul, I come again. Not to speak in riddles, but to bring you into the moment you've been sensing. This is your hour of decision. Michael is whispering now, gently but firmly. Don't go back. Not this time. The old cycle is calling, but you have outgrown it. The temptation will come, closed in comfort. A voice from the past. An offer that sparkles. A feeling that says, maybe this time it'll be different. But you know better. You've been here before, and last time it cost you sleep, trust, and parts of your soul you're still healing. Do not trade your destiny for familiarity. Do not sell your future for false security. The miracle is not future tense. It is here, hovering, waiting, heavy with glory. But it needs a landing strip of obedience. Say it with your soul. I trust you even when I don't understand. I choose alignment, not attachment. Because this time, you're not returning to survival. You're stepping into promise. Breathe and carry this with you. Heaven has waited for you to pause. Not to panic, not to run, just pause. Because in that pause your soul breathes, and in that breath I speak. You've been moving fast, haven't you? Trying to outrun the ache, trying to outwork the doubt, trying to make sense of things that were never yours to carry. But now, in this sacred breath between choices, I call to you again, not as a distant God, not as a judge, but as the one who knit you together and never once let go. I see you're trembling. I know the crossroads you're facing. I know the war between your logic and your longing. And I say, you are standing at the edge of a door only faith can open. Archangel Michael stands behind you now, his hand on your shoulder, his voice echoing through the spirit realm. Tell them the time is almost up. Tell them heaven is ready, but their yes is the final key. Yes, it feels too big. Yes, it feels unreal. But what I have planned for you was never meant to be small. The blessing forming in the spirit is not just provision, it is transformation. It's the shift you've been begging for in secret. It's the restoration your grandmother prayed for. It's the promise I whispered when you were still a child and you saw the world with unbroken eyes. But I will not force you to receive it. This door only opens from the inside. You must choose, you must trust, you must declare aloud, even with a whisper, I say yes, I release the old, I receive the new. We are not done. Before the stars knew your name, I did. Long before you knew heartbreak, long before you made mistakes, long before you were lied to, walked away from, overlooked, I saw it all, and I still chose you. I chose you for glory. I chose you for miracles. I chose you for a legacy that stretches beyond your lifetime. And now, you are moments away from stepping into what I preserved just for you. But the final test is not one of strength, it is one of trust. Archangel Michael is still watching. His sword is drawn, but not for battle this time. He is standing in intercession, his presence a shield between you and what the enemy hopes you choose. He knows what I know, that someone is about to offer you something false, that a voice from the past will try to pull you back into old patterns, that a decision made in haste could unravel years of preparation. This is not to scare you, it's to anchor you. You've cried too long to throw this away now. You've healed too much to reopen that wound. You prayed too hard to let the noise of this world drown out the answer. So be still. Not passive, but spiritually alert. Check every offer against my peace. Test every word against my truth. If it causes chaos in your spirit, it is not from me. Michael says, this moment is the hinge, the turn, the split in the road. Say yes, and the gates will open. Say no, and the delay will stretch. I will not stop loving you, but I long to bless you now. Don't let comfort steal your crown. Keep listening. I am not far. This moment is not random. It is divine. It was carved into time before you took your first breath. You are not late. You are not lost. You are right where heaven planned. If only you will see it. The enemy is loud today, not because you are weak, but because you are close. He smells the shift. He sees the glow around your name. He knows what happens if you choose right in this final moment. So he will try one last time. A text, a thought, a memory that disguises itself as comfort, a lie that wraps itself in logic. Don't fall for it. Archangel Michael is crying out with fierce tenderness. Do not delay. Do not look back. Do not open the door you already closed. I gave you signs. The dream that wouldn't leave you. The song that echoed your pain. The way your body tensed around that person even when your lips smiled. I was in it all. Not to confuse you. To protect you. The miracle is no longer coming. It is here, hovering like a dove over deep waters, waiting for your voice to call it down. So speak, even now. Say it aloud. I choose obedience. I choose life. I let go of what is not mine. I receive what heaven has written. This declaration is not empty. It is code. It is alignment. It is the final click that opens the gate. You were not born to survive. You were born to overflow. Not just for you, but for generations after you. Let this moment mark the turn. Let this be the hour you said yes, fully, without hesitation. Your miracle is already in motion. Don't miss it. I will return.